In this clip, we're going to be learning how to pull in the correct price for a product based off a product pricing table with multiple effective dates for that same product. So starting out, you might get something like this. So in this example here, we have table 1, which is our invoice table, we're going to say. So this is where we want to pull in the correct price based off the transaction date. We also have a secondary table, which is our product pricing table. So as you can see, there can be multiple rows for the same product with different effective dates with a new different price for that effective date. This is a pretty common use case you might find yourself in, so let's walk through how we can actually get this to work. So there's a couple steps here. So step number 1 would be we're going to add in a new field on our pricing table. And what this is going to do is it's going to just allow us to sort the data in the way we want. So I'm just going to concatenate my ID column with my effective date column. So to do this, I'll just type an equal sign, select the ID. So we're going to be delimiting this with a period. So I'm just going to put in an ampersand, double quote, period, double quote, ampersand, and then select the effective date. So I'll plug in this formula text so we can see what that is. Alright, so this is essentially our sort column, and we're going to be sorting this down, so from Z to A. So what that's going to do is it's going to bring in our products, and it's going to have the highest effective date at the top. So this is the first field we need to add to the product pricing table. We have one more. So we're going to essentially add a end date. So we're going to be plugging in a formula to calculate the end date. So for example, on this product right here, as you can see, product number 4 has an effective date of 8/1/22. So the end date would be just one date less than whatever's above it. So it would be 12/30. So I'm going to plug in a formula here. If this value is equal to the value above it, which would be F4, so I'm pretty much saying if it's the same product, then what we'll do is we're just going to take the effective date, which would be H4, and we're going to subtract 1. If that's not the case, what that means is it's going to be the first row, so we need to maximize the end date. So we're going to plug in date. So we'll just say 2999 for the year. For the month, we'll say December, and we'll do 31st. So I'm just going to change this to a date so we can see. So now, as you can see, for this row with the effective date of 8/1/22, as you can see, the end date is 12/30, which is one day prior. So that kind of flows through for all of these rows. So that's all we have to do with the actual pricing table. Now let's jump back to our table where we're actually trying to calculate the correct price based off the transaction dates. So for this, what we can actually now do is just a sum ifs. And we're going to just essentially be summing the price if the date over here is within the effective date and the effective start date and the effective end date. So to do this, we're going to plug in a sum ifs calculation. So it's going to be sum ifs. So the first thing we need to do is select our column that we want to sum, which is our price column. What we'll then do is we need to, first off, make sure it's the correct product. So we'll say if the product ID is equal to the product ID, comma, now we're going to do the first effective date. So we'll say if this effective date, comma. So from here, if we want to have multiple conditions less than or equal to, instead of just equal to, you can plug in double quote, and we'll say less than or equal to, double quote, and then you just do another ampersand and select your date. Once again, we'll close this off and do the same thing for our end date. So I'll select the other date column, the end dates column. Once again, double quote, greater than equal to, double quote, ampersand, and then select our date again. We'll close this off and hit end with, and as you can see, it's pulling in the correct prices. So for product 4, if we take a look at this, for example, 8/1/2020. So product 4, 8/1/2020 would be 5035. So 5035 on 9/15/2022. If we go up to that, we should be expecting 62. As you can see, the formula is working properly. So I hope this helps. Thanks.